Hey, what's up? My name is Luke McAdowney, and in honor of Mental Health Awareness Week, first week of October here, I just wanted to share a little bit of my story. So, on April 7th, 2008, I actually made a plan and decided how I was going to end my life. It also kind of started with a vicious cycle as I was growing up. It was a lot of anxiety for a variety of reasons, and it always kind of had this cyclical effect, threw me into deep depression. And I'd always come out of it, and it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. And a lot of it was just fueled by abusive relationships. There's physical, emotional abuse, and it just built these habits of negativity. Unfortunately, the abuse was being done by myself. So, I was a successful student. I was a pretty good athlete, and it was never enough. I always had this weird imposter syndrome, thinking like, why am I just not everything that I could be? Why, I felt like even if I had success, I'm not even worthy of having that success. So, why is this happening to me at all? So that's sort of how like those habits started to build. I had these same thoughts over and over, and they drove my emotions, my actions. More often than not, it was just passive, and the suicidal ideation, those tendencies. They started out actually when I was pretty young in middle school, and I didn't really act on them. I sort of did. Uh, I think it was more to gain attention than anything else. But then it all really came to a head in college, my freshman year, when I was I was an athlete. I actually started out playing football. I ended up quitting that team because I wanted to focus on basketball. And when I did that, the coach actually told me that he really didn't see a future for me on his team. So being the immature and unstable young man that I was, I really couldn't handle that feedback. So I ended up quitting that team as well. And that was a huge loss of identity for me. Coupled with that, I was that guy who thought he knew exactly what he was going to do for the rest of his life going into college. And then when I actually started studying those things, it wasn't what I enjoyed. And really looking at what that career would be like for me, it wasn't what I wanted. So, like I said, there was a huge loss of identity. And when it all sort of came crashing down, all of these habits, this vicious cycle that brought me into a lot of depressive states, it all sort of built up to the plan that I made to end my life. And from there, it really just took a single act of taking ownership or my own situation and wanting to be wanting to finally be happy. Like there was a lot of suffering that I perceived in my own situation. Relatively speaking, it was completely inconsequential. But for me, it seemed like I was under this huge weight. I was struggling with school. I wasn't an athlete anymore. All of these things that I saw for myself just fell apart, and it. I had to find deep within me the desire to live, literally the desire to stay alive, more than the desire to end the pain and suffering that I thought I was going to. So I had to reach out for help. Since I was so freaked out by the fact that this time around the plan that I made was actually one that would be successful. So I called my mom. I started getting some professional help, and that is something that is just not accepted enough at at this point. Even in our culture, as we move forward, people aren't able to see that there's courage in vulnerability. There's no courage without vulnerability because if it was an easy situation, then it wouldn't take courage to take that step. But we all need to really see that there are people out there that care about us, and we just can't do it alone. We have to be willing to reach out for help, and we have to break down this stigma around mental health. I was obviously, I'm a male. I was an athlete. I served in the military as well, so I'm a veteran. And for whatever reason, all of these barriers kind of prevented me from getting the help that I needed until really I was at a breaking point on multiple occasions. And we need to we need to stop that trend. We need people to feel like they can reach out for help, and because you never know what's what it's going to take to bring somebody back, to get them from being on the edge, wanting to end their life, to look at me now, and I'm very, very much in a different place. Still kind of figuring life out, but I'm okay with that. And that's what it's all about. We need to band together, be willing to help each other out, and know that we're not in this alone. So that's my story, and I just hope that if you connect with this, if you think that there's somebody else out there who could benefit from hearing this message, please share this video. And if you have questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me. I'm an open book, and I'd love to share more about my situation, my experiences. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and peace out.